order the 1,680th meeting of the Board of Trustees. Can we get a roll call, please, Tim?
Yep, we'll see. Trustee Wabi's not here yet. Trustee Watson?
Yes.
Trustee Evans?
Yes.
Trustee Nicholson?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Fair?
Yes.
Right.
Is there a motion for approval of the journal of the preceding meeting, December 14th?
Second.
Thank you. I have no comments this evening, so we will proceed with the board committee reports, starting with the audit committee. Trustee Watson.
Yes, ma'am. Audit Committee, January 2nd, 2024, Board of Trustees report. The Audit Committee met on January 2nd at 7:30 a.m. The meeting was attended by Trustees Evans, Wilson, Wabi, with Trustees Watson, Fair, and Nicholson attending online. Chairperson Watson called roll and had no introductory comments. The minutes of the December 5th Audit Committee meeting were approved. Internal audit continued the meeting by reporting on the status of previously issued audit recommendations, stating that of the 284 recommendations issued since April of 2011, 270 or 95% of the recommendations have been implemented. Internal audit provided a status update for each of the 14 recommendations that currently remain open as December 31st, 2023. Questions were addressed by internal audit as they were received from the committee. The next audit committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. The meeting was adjourned at approximately 7:44 a.m. This concludes the audit committee report.
Thank you, Trustee Watson. Trustee Evans, can we have the Finance Committee report, please?
Yes. Finance Committee met on January 2nd, 2024 at 8:03 a.m. Meeting was attended by Trustees Wilson, myself, Wabi, with Trustees Fair, Watson, and Nicholson online. I called roll and had no further comments. The minutes of the December 5th, 2023 Finance Committee meeting were approved. The following agenda items to be introduced tonight were presented and discussed. Resolution number 3872, interfund transfers of available appropriations. This resolution authorizes the transfer of unencumbered balances between certain funds, properly classify expenses as needed for the district's fiscal year 23 financial statements. Resolution number 3873, U.S. Bank Corp. Investment Management Services. This resolution authorizes option year three of a contract with U.S. Bank Corp. For investment management services. Other items discussed during the committee meeting include the following. Director of Finance Marion G. presented the quarterly financial status update for the period ending September 2023. Secretary Treasurer Tim Snoke reviewed the district's operating fund portfolio as of December 28, 2023. Tim indicated that the portfolio is in compliance with the district's investment policy. The next committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, January 30, 2024. The meeting was adjourned at 8:18 a.m. This concludes the Finance Committee Board Comments Report.
Thank you, Trustee Evans. Trustee Nicholson, the Program Management Committee report, please.
The Program Management Committee met on January 2nd, 2024 at 7:46 a.m. The meeting was attended by Trustees Wabi, Evans, and Wilson, with myself, Watson, and Fair online. I called roll and had no further comments. The minutes of the December 5th, 2023 Program Management meeting were approved. The agenda items to be introduced tonight were presented and discussed, including a detailed discussion regarding the following items. Ordinance numbers 16294 and 16295. Staff reviewed the details and bid information for 2 construction projects. These ordinances will authorize contracts and appropriate the necessary funds for these projects. The projects will be awarded to Platten Creek Excavating, doing business as PCX Construction, LLC. These are PCX Construction first projects with MSD. They will be required to substantially complete one of the projects prior to submitting additional bids. Staff presented details of several general service agreement contracts for engineering support services. Ordinance numbers 16296 through 16298 will provide funding for 3 geotechnical service contracts, and ordinance numbers 16300 through 16304 will provide funding for 5 services contracts. All these contracts support internal design staff with the ultimate design and delivery of consent decree and asset management projects. Ordinance numbers 16305 and 16306. Staff reviewed the details of 2 sanitary relief projects currently in easement acquisition. Staff has been unable to obtain all necessary property rights through negotiation. Staff is requesting authorization from the board to move forward with condemnation efforts to allow the projects to remain on schedule. Staff presented details of a linear asset management software services contract to support the engineering department. Ordinance numbers 16307 will assist in the prioritization of rehabilitation projects for the district's linear sewer system assets. Funding for this contract will be from the engineering and information technology department's operating budgets. The next committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for January 30th, 2024. The meeting was adjourned at 8:02 a.m. This concludes the Program Management Board comments report.
Thank you, Trustee Nicholasison. Our final committee report this evening is from Stakeholder Relations. Trustee Wilson.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The Stakeholder Relations Committee meeting board's comments report. Stakeholder Relations Committee met on January the 2nd, 2024 at 8:20 a.m. The meeting was attended by Chairperson Wilson and Trustees Evans and Wabi, and online with Trustees Fair, Nicholasison, Watson. Chairperson Wilson called roll, had no further comment. Minutes of the December 5th, 2023 Stakeholder Relations Committee meeting were voted on and approved. The agenda and discussion items were as follows. Discussion by Jason Stockman regarding an ordinance for a contract change order for payroll, time reporting, and benefits software. Ordinance number 16313. This ordinance authorizes the district to enter into amendment number 1 to the original contract with UKG Chrome. Project has identified that additional integration and work activities are required to integrate the system with the internal and external application. This action will provide authorization to enter into change orders above the original contract amount. Discussion by Susan Meyer regarding 5 ordinances for general legal service. Ordinance numbers 16308, 16309, 16310, 16311, and 16312. After submitting an RFP to over 100 law firms, placing it on social media and on the district website, 5 firms were selected. Hellman, Hill and Redder, Walls and Brady, RSSC, Thompson Kirborn, and White Coleman and Associates. These ordinances will secure legal consulting services to assist the Office of the General Counsel in areas concerning general litigation and will begin on July 1st, 2024. Adjournment. Meeting was adjourned at 8:25 a.m. The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for January the 30th, 2024. This concludes Stakeholder Relations Board comments.
Thank you, Trustee Wilson. I'm not aware of any report from the Executive Director this evening.
That's correct.
Okay. We'll move to comments from the public. We have one, Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a few items to mention. First of all, I find it rather comical that the district is patting themselves on the back for getting rid of the sewer overflows. This should never have been installed to begin with. It was unlawful to do so. Public first became aware of those in 1986, front page story in the Post-Dispatch. And the executive director at that time said, within 10 years, we're going to get rid of all of them. Well, I don't think they quite made it. Second issue to bring up is a fact is money that the district is spending on a campaign. Of course, it's always the dodge of, oh, it's just informational. 15th of this month, which is coming up soon, you have to file your quarterly report. And even if it's not actual direct expenditures, you still have to file for indirect expenditures, meaning time and that the district employees have spent working on a campaign. And if you look at go back and look at the definitions in the campaign finance campaign finance disclosure law, you'll see that the district has certain liabilities there. So I would urge you to look that over and make sure that you comply with the law. District has had a lot of trouble in the past on this. In fact, years ago, the district made front page of the Post-Dispatch in a big color picture. Turned out a lot of employees were working on the campaign on company time, so to speak. And again, this was something that wasn't proper, and at the very least, it should have been reported. And hopefully, you don't want to run into one of those situations again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Next up, we have public hearing reports,
There are none?
communications.
There are none?
We'll do the consent agenda next, Tim.
All right, thank you, Ms. Chair. The consent agenda tonight is items 10 through 39. Is there any board member who would like to pull an item for a separate vote? Hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Ms. Fair?
Yes.
All right, we will move to, we have one item for unfinished business. It's item 40, the adoption of ordinance number 16267, appropriating $2.1 million from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for pump station improvements in the Weston Place Pump Station Improvements Project in the city of Town and Country, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Understall Contracting. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Abstain.
All right, the motion is adopted. Now we'll move to new business, starting with item 41, the introduction of ordinance number 16294, appropriating $600,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for sanitary sewer construction and private I&I removal in the Daniel Boone Longview Creek I&I reduction project in the city of Florissant and unincorporated St. Louis County, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Platten Creek Excavating, do business as PCX Construction. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Item 42, the introduction of ordinance number 16295, appropriating $375,000 from the Operation and Maintenance Construction and Improvement Fund of Deer Creek to be used for storm sewer construction in the Outer Ladue and Chipper Storm Sewer Project in the city of Frontenac, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Platten Creek Excavating, again doing business as PCX Construction. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
All right, items 43 through 45 are all for general geotechnical services contracts. Is it all right if I group those? No objections? All right. We'll do one vote at the end. The first one is item 43, introduction of ordinance number 16296, appropriating $85,000 from the district-wide stormwater fund to be used for general geotechnical services in the General Services Agreement Geotechnical Contract A project in various locations in the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Geotechnology LLC. Item 44 is the introduction of ordinance number 16297, appropriating $85,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for general geotechnical services in the General Services Agreement Geotechnical Contract B project in various locations within the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Hanson Professional Services. And item 45 is the introduction of ordinance number 16298, appropriating $85,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for general geotechnical services in the General Services Agreement Geotechnical Contract C project in various locations within the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Terracon Consultants. So for items 43 through 45, is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
Item 46 is the introduction of ordinance number 16299, appropriating $100,000 from the sanitary replacement fund and appropriating $100,000 from the district-wide stormwater fund to be used for general engineering services in the General Services Agreement Sewer and Channel Design Contract A project in various locations within the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with KDG, a division of Shive Hattery. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Ms. Fair?
Yes.
All right, we have another opportunity to group some items. 47 through 51 are all for general surveying service contracts. If there are no objections, I will group those. I don't hear any. So the first one is item 47, introduction of ordinance number 16300, appropriating $50,000 from the district-wide stormwater fund to be used for general surveying services in the General Services Agreement Surveying Services Contract A project throughout the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Civil Design. Item 48 is the introduction of ordinance number 16301, appropriating $50,000 from the sanitary replacement fund for general surveying services in the General Services Agreement Surveying Services Contract B project, again throughout the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Prairie Engineers. Item 49 is the introduction of ordinance number 16302, appropriating $50,000 from the district-wide stormwater fund to use for general surveying services in the General Services Agreement Surveying Services Contract C project throughout the district and authorizing the district to enter a contract with Sabre. Item 50 is the introduction of ordinance number 16303, appropriating $50,000 again from the Sanitary Replacement Fund to be used for general surveying services in the General Services Agreement Surveying Services Contract D project, again throughout the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Vols Incorporated. And item 51, the introduction of ordinance number 16304, appropriating $50,000 from the Sanitary Replacement Fund for general surveying services in the General Services Agreement Surveying Services Contract E project, various locations throughout the district, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Juno Associates. So for items 47 through 51, is there a motion for introduction? Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Item 52 is the introduction of ordinance number 16305, declaring the necessity for the acquisition of easements and temporary easements and certain real property within the district for the purpose of construction of sewers and related appurtenances in the project known as Smith Creek Ladue Road Sanitary Relief in the City of Creve Coeur to serve needs of residents of the area and authorizing staff to proceed with further condemnation efforts related to the project. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Item 53, introduction of ordinance number 16306, declaring the necessity for the acquisition of easements and temporary easements in certain real property within the district for the purpose of construction of sewers and related appurtenances in the project known as the Upper Fish Pond East Sanitary Relief in the city of Ellisville to serve the needs of residents of the area and authorizing staff to proceed with further condemnation efforts related to the project. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
All right, one more grouping opportunity, items 55 through 59, or all contracts with law firms for general legal services. Hearing no objections, we'll group those, starting with item 55, which is the introduction of ordinance number 16308, authorizing the district to enter into a contract with the law firm of Helmick, Hill, and Redder to provide general legal services to the district, commencing on July 1st, 2024. Item 56 is the introduction of ordinance number 16309, authorizing the district to enter into a contract with the law firm of Quarles and Brady to provide general legal services to the district, again commencing July 1st, 2024. Item 57 is the introduction of ordinance number 16310, authorizing the district to enter into a contract with the law firm of Reinierson, Seuss, Schnurbush, and Champion to provide general legal services, commencing on July 1st, 2024. Item 58 is the introduction of ordinance number 16311, authorizing the district to enter into a contract with the law firm of Thompson Coburn to provide general legal services to the district, again commencing on July 1st, 2024. And the introduction of ordinance number 16312 is item 59, authorizing the district to enter into a contract with the law firm of White, Coleman, and Associates, again to provide general legal services to the district commencing July 1st, 2024. So for items 55 through 59, is there a motion for introduction?
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
I skipped 54? I did skip 54. All right, we're going to go back to item 54, which was not part of the grouping. Thank you. Introduction of ordinance number 16307, authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Aquasite LLC to provide software and professional services in the Linear Asset Management Services Project district-wide. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Thanks for paying attention. Item 60 is introduction and adoption of ordinance number 16313, making an amendment to the contract approved by ordinance 15893 for professional services in the payroll, time reporting, and benefits software as a service project district-wide, and authorizing the district to amend the contract with UKG Kronos. Is there a motion for introduction?
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? Hearing no objections, is there a motion for adoption?
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Ms. Fair?
Yes.
All right, we'll move to resolutions, starting with item 61, which is the adoption of resolution number 3871, exercising option year 3 of a contract previously authorized by ordinance 15613, adopted February 11th, 2021, that authorized the district to enter into a contract with Stantec Consulting Services to provide professional services, rate commission support in the infiltration and inflow cost allocation services project throughout the district service area. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
Item 62, adoption of Resolution 3872, transferring unencumbered appropriated balances totaling $3,408,554.07 from the General Insurance Fund 4105, 2023B WIFIA Project Bond Fund 6844, District-wide Stormwater Fund 5120, and the Sanitary Replacement Fund 6660 to the Water Backup Insurance Fund 4104, Improvement Fund 4102, General Insurance Fund 4105, Wastewater Emergency Fund 4122, Stormwater Regulatory Fund 5110, Wellston OMCI Fund 5589, Mainline and Mailing Creek OMCI Fund 5576. And also transferring balances totaling $6,831.15 from the District-wide Stormwater Fund 5120 to the Watkins Creek OMCI Fund 5587 to allow for the proper classification of expenses in the district's year-end financial statements. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
And item 63, adoption of Resolution 3873 to exercise option year 3 of a contract previously authorized by ordinance 15567, adopted December 10, 2020, that authorized the district to enter into a contract with U.S. Bancorp Asset Management to provide investment management services for the district. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Nicholasison?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Fair?
Yes.
All right, and there is no further business this evening, Mr. Chair.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.